What is up, YouTube? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well out there. Apologies, guys. I'll be right with you. Technical difficulties as usual. All right, we'll leave it for now, guys. I apologize for that. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Um, so once again, the very popular subject of TRT has come up: testosterone replacement therapy, right? And I had someone reach out to me today and ask me a couple of questions about it. Um, and there's so much. It's like anything. It's just like anything when it comes to our fitness or our health and anything in life. There's so much misinformation out there, and people love to stand up on a soapbox and give their opinion. And rather than saying this is my opinion and I'm not 100% sure this is what I think, they double, triple, and quadruple down on their ignorance. It's like they revel in it. They revel in the fact that they don't know, uh, and I guess they're ignorant to the fact that they don't know. They don't want to find out that they don't know, right? So it's TRT is very popular today. It's extremely popular with a lot of guys. I know in my career I worked with over 200 guys, and at any given time there was quite a few of them that were taking this stuff, right? Um, and I didn't know one of them that was taking it for because it was medically necessary. It, it's almost always for vanity reasons, to be honest with you. You know, in their mind, they may make up something and say, "Well, I was fatigued, my sex drive was low, I was," they'll come up with some type of excuse and say it's got to be low T. And rather than looking at their lifestyle and saying, "What am I doing wrong in my lifestyle? Am I drinking a lot of booze? Am I taking drugs? What are my stress levels? How do I sleep? What does my diet look like, right, on a steady basis? Am I getting in some regular exercise, right? Am I getting healthy fats in my diet? What do my vitamin D levels look like? What do my zinc levels look like?" Instead of looking at all this stuff and possibly making changes in their lives, they'll go to a doctor and especially a guy, I'm 61, and I say this all the time, and I stand by this statement. I can walk into any doctor's office or any TRT clinic today tonight, I could sign off of this live and go to a TRT clinic and walk in and say, oh, geez, I'm working out and I just feel so fatigued and my sex drive is low and this, that, and the other thing. I guarantee I'll walk out of there with a prescription for TRT. I guarantee it, without a doubt. So most of the time, guys will go and they'll go to a doctor, especially guys that are over 40. And I knew a lot of guys that were under 40, in their 30s, young men in their 35 years old, 33 years old, and they were putting this stuff in their body, right? So obviously, testosterone is the male hormone. What It's what gives us our male features and things like that in our body. And there's a certain range, like a lot of things. We're looking for minerals in our blood and things like that. And testosterone, we want a certain amount in our body, and they measure it by nanograms per deciliter. Not that that matters, but there's a range. So let's say it goes from, and it could vary based on the lab that's doing it, but generally speaking, you're looking at maybe 200 nanograms per deciliter up to 1,000 or 1,100, right? So ideally, you want to be towards the middle of that range. You don't want to be on the low end. But again, when we talk about testosterone, there's two measurements that you have to take. There's a total testosterone, which is how much testosterone is in your body, and then free testosterone. And that total testosterone, there's a lot of testosterone in your body that's bound up, meaning it can't be used effectively or quickly by your body. So you want to look at basically the more important number when we're talking about this is the free testosterone level. And that's how much testosterone your body could use quickly. Like right off the bat, if your body needs testosterone, how much free testosterone is floating around, right? What's up, Nicholas? How are you, brother? So we're talking about the free testosterone. Now, not to go too far down a rabbit hole, we also have our cells have what are called androgen receptors, right? And that they're sort of what communicates with the testosterone. So basically, in theory, somebody could have testosterone on the lower end of the spectrum, but have a high amount of androgen receptors in their body, in their cells, and not have any symptoms of having testosterone on the lower end. Conversely, somebody's testosterone could be on the higher end and they could have fewer androgen receptors. And they may get some symptoms, legitimate symptoms of low testosterone. So, not only do you want to measure the testosterone levels, but you want to make sure that you're going to measure the androgen receptors also. So there's a lot more to it. It's not just as simple as your testosterone's on the lower end of the spectrum. Here's a needle, go home and enjoy yourself, right? So, like we say with everything that we put in our body, there's always going to be consequences, right? There's always going to be some It's hard to convince some people that there will be, with any medication. We're told consistently that any medication that we take um, is perfectly safe, right? With all these weight loss drugs, the Ozempics and whatever the other ones are. No, they're perfectly safe. Don't worry about it. Well, you might get a little nauseous, but we'll give you a pill for that. You know. Um, Meanwhile, if you see the actual side effects that are possible, it's horrific. It's horrific, and it's the same with this testosterone, right? Like we said, there's going to be consequences for putting things in your body. So you could, with the testosterone, you can get an injection. They give you these little gel packs that you rub on the skin. some type of patch you might wear. Um, but again, it's a guessing game, because if you go in and some doctor or some technician at a TRT clinic is going to say, well, this is your level, so we're going to give you X amount. And there's no scientific theory behind it. It's basically a guess. Let's do it and see what happens. Let's do it and see how high the testosterone goes and if you get any negative effects from it. And if you do, we'll back off. And if you don't show any improvement, we'll give you more. So we're going to go back and forth, back and forth. What's up, Martin? Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Now, again, for all the guys that say, and all over social media, you know, being human, we're going to always justify the things that we do. We're always going to justify it. We'll find a way to justify it, and we certainly will. Very few people will ever admit that they're wrong and say, "Gee, I really shouldn't have taken that." Or if they're taking that, they won't admit that. Listen, I'm taking a chance by doing this. I'm going to do it anyway. It's no, no, no. As if just because you go to a TRT clinic and somebody gives you TRT, all of a sudden you're a medical researcher. And now you know everything about TRT, you know everything about its effects or lack thereof, right? Because they're all going to insist, no, 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 there's nothing wrong with doing it. The human body is brilliant. We're not. Our egos are stupid, right? So if you're injecting exogenous hormones into your body and messing with the workings of your endocrine system, at some point your body's going to say, well, he's putting this stuff in. Why do I need to make it? So your body's either going to seriously slow down testosterone production even more, or at some point it may even stop it, right? Salute to Dennis. How are you, brother? Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Guys, make sure you check out my friend Dennis, Men of Action. Talk about a beast twice a day, every day. Guys, right as rain. Make sure you check out his channel. Not only does he work his ass off, but he's got some really, really great messages. So make sure you check him out. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate you popping in, brother. I know you're busy over there. I know that for sure. What's up, Magda? Right back at you, Dan. I tell you all the time, man. You're a big inspiration to a lot of people, a lot of people. So keep doing you, my man. Um, so yeah, guys, your body's that smart. So it's either going to slow down the production of the testosterone, or at some point it may even stop it altogether. Which means you just signed up for life, right? Because if your body slows it down that much or completely stops the testosterone production, you have no choice but to keep going with it. And people, being human, we don't like to look that far down the road. We want those results right away, right? And by doing that, we're at risk of all these other side effects, because we want what we want now. We might feel good in the short term. It's just like we talk about our diet a lot, right? Hey, I'm eating carnivore. It's the best thing I ever did. I'm so healthy now. How long you been doing it? Oh, 2 months. Well, talk to me in 3, 4, 5, 6 years that you've been consistent with it for that long, right? Because if any change that you make, again, from the standard American diet, if you go out in the field and start eating some horse shit rather than the junk food that we eat every day, you're going to improve your health in the short term, but that's going to be sustainable for you, right? So before you go into this TRT thing, which is at some point from a lot of guys are going to turn into a lifetime commitment, why wouldn't you dedicate a year of your life to doing everything you could do to flipping it around and doing it naturally, living a healthy life, upping the testosterone levels, if that's really an issue for you? Because I'm telling you, the guys that I work with, and there was a good number of them that I worked with, Did it for nothing else. There was no medical reason for these guys to be taking TRT. It was pure, unadulterated vanity. They wanted to put on size, they wanted to look bigger, and most of them did. And they took it for a while, and then there was an issue. I've told this story before on the channel. There was an issue with the insurance company. They flagged all these guys. How could this be that 25% of this department has low testosterone? So they did an investigation. Long story short, they shut it down. And all of these guys I worked with all of a sudden looked like they went on low carb diets because some of them lost 15, 20, 25 pounds within a matter of weeks. So it's all temporary, whether it's TRT, the steroids, anything else, any type of performance enhancing drug. You don't know. You have no idea what long-term effects are, right? In the town I grew up in, just yet the day before yesterday, a guy that was maybe my age, maybe a year or two old, say he's 60, 61-ish. Back in the day, went to the same gym. Really nice guy. I got along well with him. I knew him for many years. He was big into taking steroids back in the day. Um, as he got older, he wound up having open heart surgery. Of course, it had nothing to do with taking steroids. And lo and behold, 2 days ago, at the age of 60, 61, he took a heart attack and now he's dead. But again, nothing to do with steroids. I certainly can't say that it did have anything to do with steroids, but it seems like that's a common theme when it comes to this stuff, right? And it's temporary. It's temporary, guys. It's just to do. I see these bodybuilders. You know what I mean? God only knows what they're injecting into their bodies, and they're doing it because they're chasing a dream. They want to make a buck. All they want to do is be famous and get rich. 95% of them never will. They'll destroy their body, destroy their health in the name of being healthy. And these people aren't healthy in the long run. It has nothing to do with health. It has to do with vanity. It has to do with chasing a buck, getting famous, looking big, creating this persona that you're bigger and stronger than you really are. And you're really not. You're really not. I'm from New Jersey, Mohammed. Where are you from? So, and I don't know why I do this to myself, guys, because it's almost like when you have a cold sore in your mouth and you keep touching it with your tongue and you know it's going to aggravate you, right? And but you'll keep doing it. It hurts and it aggravates you. But uh, I'm in a couple of these groups, these Facebook groups, and one of them has to do with gym stuff, working out stuff. But somebody put a post in, and they said, for those of you that recommend TRT, why don't you ever mention the side effects? Don't you have any? Well, this opened up the floodgates, and all the TRT guys, um, like I said, you want to justify everything you do. Nobody's going to say that there's anything negative to do with it. So we got one guy here. The only side effects I've had is that it makes it way easier to gain muscle, gain the muscle back that I lost from having low T. I also reversed my prediabetes. I also lowered my high cholesterol. My sex drive is through the roof. Lots of awesome side effects, LOL. So this guy's just beside himself. He doesn't say how long he's been taking it, but according to him, um, life is good. Life is good on the TRT. Doesn't mention anything about I had low T and I was losing muscle and then I tried to do it naturally. He doesn't mention anything like that. He just said he went on. So who knows? I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did dedicate a year of his life and he tried to do it the right way. Then this other genius says if you're getting side effects from your TRT, it's not really the TRT. Everybody is different and needs different amounts of TRT. Say 100 milligrams to 150 milligrams per week. That's what I do. And I fluctuate between that. And I have zero side effects. So this genius says, now he's telling people on the internet what the optimal dose of TRT is. And he's saying, well, that's what I do and it works. So obviously it's going to work for you. So listen to me and I'll tell you how it's done. Um, so then one guy did say, well, there are natural ways to raise your testosterone, but no one wants to talk about that. All they want to do, they just want to do it artificially with the TRT. That's the problem with people these days. So the next genius, um, the self-ordained medical researcher, says absolutely, you can boost it, but only from 300 to 500 nanograms per deciliter after about a year. But you won't ever get it to 900 naturally. So this clown claims to know exactly where you can do what you can do, how far you can go before you need the TRT. So it really is ridiculous, guys. If you listen to there's some real winners in here. Um, there was another one I wanted to show you too that was just really off the wall. Well, you get the idea, guys. I don't want to, people are always going to justify their bullshit. Always, always, always going to justify the bullshit. And they'll never turn around and say, hey, I was wrong. And again, it goes back to that wanting the quick fix, which is human nature, right? We always talk about it. Change is difficult. Change is hard. And people don't want to put that work in. People don't want to put the time in, right? It's just like with women. You put a picture up of a woman on the internet anywhere that lost a ton of weight, and that woman gets bombarded with, how did you do it? What did you eat? Your ass looks like my ass looked like yours before I gained the weight. I want to get that back. Can you please tell me exactly what you're eating? So basically, people are sitting there scrolling on their phone, just waiting. It's like a poor guy just going to buy lottery tickets every day. Things will get better when I hit the lottery. And that's what these people do. They just sit there and they'll send their money to anybody and they'll listen to anybody. Um, you know, it really is it's too much. You know, nobody wants to be consistent. Nobody wants to put the time in, put the effort in, and it's such you get more of a sense of satisfaction to know that you did it. You build self-esteem. You're building self-discipline along the way. It takes zero self-discipline to do what these people are doing. Zero. And I'd like to meet the one guy in 10,000. I'm going to say 10,000. And I'm probably lowballing it. That needs TRT for a legitimate medical reason. What's up? Long time no see, my friend. Grind the Shine TV. Make sure you check him out, guys. Shout out to Arkansas. Good to see you, brother. Okay, so here's another one. I did read that one of a common side effect of the TRT is that your red blood cell count can go up, right? So this genius says, I've been on TRT for 9 weeks, and then my doctor did some labs. My red blood cell count was pretty high. My red blood cell count was pretty high. So I just went and donated some blood. I feel great after the blood donation, so I'll just do that every once in a while. So another guy that has it all figured out. I'll just do my TRT, and I'll just go give some blood every once in a while. How often? I don't know. Who cares? So we got this guy here. If you're on TRT, you should have very little side effects because you're simply using an exogenous hormone. Simply you're simply injecting an exogenous hormone into your body. Simple as that. The problems only arise when the levels are increased to levels that are higher than what would be normal for your age. Only at that time can a person have any adverse effects. Other than that, you're safe. Um, I'd like to ask them what the optimal ranges are for each age and how you can tell that. Um, and then he goes on to say that the most obvious would be the androgenic side effects. But in rare cases, there could be dangerous side effects like blood clots, hypertension, kidney and liver damage, cardiomyopathy. But other than that, we're all good. We're all good. Well, one of the side effects, Frank, of the TRT is that your red blood cell count will go up, and you could reduce that obviously by giving blood, by taking some blood out of your body. So that's basically what this clown, uh, that's what he figured out. That's going to be his strategy going forward. I'll do my TRT, and if my blood count goes up, I'll just go give some blood. Problem solved. A guy like that, he makes Elon Musk look like a low achiever with his intellect. So yeah, everybody seems to have it figured out. Got one guy here who says he has no side effects. Just once in a while, he might get a pimple on his back. Uh, you know, that's good though. You throw a little zit cream on your back, and everything's good. Everything's good to go. So if anybody's out there that's taken this stuff or has any experience with it, I'd really like to hear your take on it. Um, I mean, because it's obvious, my opinion on the whole thing is I think is painfully obvious. I don't advocate it, unless somebody had said to me, "You'll be dead by morning if you don't inject this TRT." Then I'd say, "Well, you know what? You better give me that needle." But for vanity reasons, why? So I could put on a couple of pounds and tell everybody, look how healthy I am, and look how I built muscle. I could inject that shit and go over and sit on my couch tonight, and I'll be burning fat and building muscle by doing nothing, by sitting on my couch and scrolling through the phone. And then these guys are on all over social media with selfies. Look at me. Look what I did. You know, look how smart I am. Look how hard I work. And they're still boozing. They're still getting high. They're still doing all the things. They're not eating right. Right. Most of them give no thought to their diet. Right. They're trying to lead a healthy lifestyle. And why would you? Why would you do that? Why would you worry about living when you could just take a needle, right? Why would you want to put that effort in when you could just hang back and have everybody convince everybody that you're the expert. You work out so hard. You're a healthy guy. Um, yeah, and again, it's the same. It's the same principle with these people with the weight loss drugs. Why am I going to go through the discomfort of not having cookies, not having my beer, not having my pizza, not eating what I want, when I want, however much I want, when all I have to do is stick a needle in my ass? And again, the doctor's going to, they'll tell you, don't worry about it. It's perfectly safe. Uh, Not only will you lose weight from it, but it's going to increase your insulin sensitivity. Now we even have studies, the dreaded studies that say it prevents Alzheimer's. So now, not only can you eat, drink whatever you want, whenever you want, however much you want, lose a couple of pounds, and you don't have to worry about winding up in a fucking loony bin in the end. I mean, that sounds like a win-win. Who would not take that chance? Who would not bet on that horse? Here's another guy with the blood issue. The only negative side effect I had was that my blood got really thick. So I started to donate blood every 8 weeks, and that fixed that. Other side effects were all positive. I now have mental clarity, increased libido, I lost fat, and increased muscle mass. All positive. So we got another winner here. You know what, guys? I'm maybe I'm wrong in my opinion. Maybe I should be doing this because these guys can't be full of shit. They have to know what they're talking about because they're on Facebook, right? This guy says my side effects are awesome. This poor guy ran dry. Um, I did take it for a while, but it got too expensive. I was paying 57 bucks a week. He was paying 57 bucks a week, and he had to give it up. So little does he know that being short on cash is going to be, in this case, not such a bad thing. What's up, Adam? I'm doing well. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you popping in. Another guy says, I honestly haven't noticed any side effects other than I have no sperm count. But other than that, he's good. Just no sperm. But if you don't want kids, that's not really a big deal. He's rationalizing here. I guess he's making sense, right? No bad side effects, just that he has no sperm. Not a big deal if you don't want kids, though. But if you do, you should just put some sperm away. Other than that, the improvement in your quality of life is well worth it. There you go. Asia, how are you? A lot of things, Adam. A lot of things make life worth living. You have people in your life that you love and that are dependent on you, that's worth it right there. A lot of other reasons to be living though. As long as you avoid TRT to the best of your ability. That makes it even more worth it, knowing that you're not reliant on the pharmaceutical companies and some asshole doctor that'll give you any drug that you want. And anything that you see on TV, you sit and watch commercials and people diagnose themselves and they say, oh, I have that, I have that. And then they'll go to some asshole doctor who will give them anything they want, basically. Like I said earlier, I can go to any TRT clinic on earth right now and plead my case and walk out with TRT if I wanted. I can go to any doctor right now and say my back hurts, and I'll walk out with some pain pills and I'll walk out with some muscle relaxers. I can go to any doctor in the world and tell them I'm anxious and I feel depressed, and I'll walk out with an SSRI and some Valium or Xanax or you name it, anything along the way. And that's what we've become. So knowing that I'm doing everything I can to keep myself healthy and not fall victim to these pariahs, these miserable pariahs, um, and I have people in my life that I love and I want to be with for as long as I can, to me, that works, makes life worth living. That's my perspective, Adam. So that's it, guys. Everybody's on the TRT. Everybody loves the TRT. Everybody likes the quick fixes. I want it yesterday, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to work out for you. So decide to change, make your health a priority, do it the right way, put the time in, do a little self development, build up your self esteem, build up some self discipline. Um, you'll lead a much happier life than sitting around every day waiting to hit the lottery, waiting for somebody to come along and save you, waiting for somebody to show you how to do things. You're on a phone watching me right now, which means you have basically a computer in your hand. So you have the knowledge of the world in your hand. Granted, a lot of that knowledge is going to be edited and redacted, so you have to sift through the bullshit. But again, that takes a little bit of effort on your part. But you can find the answers if you put the work in, and it's a matter of priorities. And unfortunately, for most of us, our health is not our priority. Watching football, getting drunk, hanging out with your friends, getting high. That's living your best life for most of us. And I've talked about this before. If that's the way you want to live, that's your prerogative because it's your life. If you bring kids into this world, if you're in a relationship and somebody's relying on you and you're that weak and lazy and selfish, that you won't take care of yourself so that you can take care of these other people, uh, then that's a sad statement. That's a sad statement. Um, so it is what it is, guys. Yeah, they absolutely. It goes to what I'm talking about today, Adam. The TRT. That's an abuse of your body. If you're putting that stuff, if you're putting these things into your body, any type of drug, any type of hormone, performance enhancing drug, if you're hooked on any type of drugs, alcohol on a consistent basis, you're destroying your body under the guise of living my best life. It's always about living your best life. That's how we always wrap, put a bow on it and say, no, no, it's all good because I'm just trying to live my best life. And there are a lot of people that are still abusing their bodies as they get older. Some people might turn it around at some point if they hit rock bottom, or if they have an epiphany, or if they wake up one day and say enough is enough for whatever reason, they might turn it around. But I know plenty of guys that I came up with and I palled around with, and we drank, we ran around, we did everything for years, but we were in our 20s and 30s. And now here they are in their 60s and they're still doing the same thing. And the sicker and fatter and dumber they get, the more they like to put it on social media. I always say the bigger the belly gets, the bigger the smile gets in the picture on social media. And it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. Yeah, and loss of mobility, obviously that's going to go with it, Adam. You know what I mean? Right? If you don't use it, you lose it. So again, it's people have to get their priorities in check. It doesn't mean you have to be a house mouse and never go out and have a beer and never go out and enjoy your pizza or whatever. But if your life centers around this stuff, and it's ruining your health, it's ruining your physical health, your mental health, and you're coming up with bullshit excuses to justify it, uh, you know, you got to look at yourself in the mirror. And unfortunately, most people won't, and that's a fact. Just look around at people, and you're going to say the majority. Thankfully, it seems today that some people are educating themselves a little bit, and they're starting to realize, hey, maybe I am doing it wrong. You know, and I like to see that. I love to see that. And nobody's going to get it 100% right, but you have to keep trying. But this mamby-pamby bullshit, oh, it's so hard. I don't want to give up my beer. I don't want to give up my insert some bullshit into that sentence. What they're saying is I'm too weak to do it. I don't have it in me to put the effort in to do it. I know it's going to benefit my health, but I'd rather stay where I'm at because it's more comfortable here. The comfort zone uh, is much better. All right, guys, we're going to cut it off there. I appreciate everybody that popped in today. Paul check. No, I have not, Adam. I haven't heard of him, but I'll definitely give him a look. Sounds interesting. Paul check. Yeah, we'll give him a look. He he's somebody that's not on my radar for some reason, but I'll definitely look him up. I'll see what's going on. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. You can go down to the description. My email is there. Anybody interested in one-on-one coaching, uh, we could set something up with that. We have some old dog merch. I have channel memberships up and running. If anybody's interested in that, you can give that a look. Other than that, I appreciate everybody that was here tonight, everybody that listened in, joined in. I hope everybody gets your reps in, stay safe, most importantly, stay healthy. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Thanks, guys.